Hello, my gorgeous friend. How are you?
Hello, my polka dot sister.
I mean,
We did not
plan this. Jinx.
We just connected psychically and we knew it was a polka dot kind of day.
As per usual, can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah. Is this your no doubt dress?
It is my no doubt dress.
Very
Yeah.
cute.
I mentioned in another episode that I went to Las Vegas to see No Doubt at the Sphere, and it was fantastic. And this was the ensemble that I wore. That was
It's super cute.
No Doubt, Tragic Kingdom adjacent.
Yeah,
it's very comfy too.
Love that. Love that. How was your week?
Good. Sam Neill passed away.
I know.
Which was such a that one hurt, and then it hurt way more finding out just like what a good dude he is and was and a mensch and just like, and I was like so I cried a bit, and I watched the last 2/3 of Event Horizon. Have you seen this movie?
Yes, it's so f***ed up. It's so f***ed up.
Well, there's definitely as we both know.
I feel like I blocked that out. I don't even remember that. I just remember watching it being like, this is horrifying.
Yeah. I hadn't seen it in a long time. And then I was like, I want to watch this to like honor him. And it was like one of those free channels on Roku that's like live TV though.
Yeah.
So it had already started and I was like, yeah, let's go. And I love that movie. I hadn't seen it in a long time. I mean, some of the acting's still it's a little rough. Like Lawrence Fishburne's a little rough in it. I get it. Sam Neill is so good in it. He's so good in it. Oh my God. But I remember that was one of those that was on HBO like 80 times a day. And I watched every single showing because I'm up. And it like came out like 97, I want to say.
Okay.
So I was like 6th, 7th grade when that came out, way too young. And I remember watching it, one of my rewatches, and it was like later in the evening, and I was watching it on the main family TV in my parents' place. And my younger brother, who's 4 years younger than me, came in. Sophit's like, okay, I'm like 12. He's like 8, right?
Oh no.
And I'm like, Jeremy, don't watch this. Like, it's gonna f you up. Like, and we had that like older, younger sibling, like very adversarial relationship.
So he's like, F you, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, he's like, whatever. And he's like, don't be such a bitch or whatever. And I was like, all right, man, your funeral. Like, I'm like, this me up. And I'm a mature of like 12 years old.
You're like, get ready for the nightmares.
So I remember the next day, my mother's like, I didn't sleep at all because your brother came in to sleep with us. And I was like, because he had nightmares from watching Event Horizon when I was like, watch that.
Like, I tried to protect you.
I wasn't being about it. I was like, I mean, it even like still kind of me up. It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
I gotta rewatch it. I just remember being very dark and very up.
It's very up. It's very up. But Sam Neill's so good in it.
Yeah. He's great. I'm surprised you didn't watch Jurassic Park. I feel like that's the classic. That's the go-to.
Yeah, I'd seen it very recently because I have a couple friends that's their like plane movie is Jurassic Park.
Oh, that's good. That's smart.
And the last time I was on a plane, I'm like, you know what? Hell yeah. Let's do this. Jurassic Park's amazing. But I feel like everyone, I've seen that movie so many times and it's amazing. I will never turn down Jurassic Park.
It's the cliche though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't seen Event Horizon in a bit. Let's check it out. Still horrifying. Forgot a lot of the eye.
I clearly did. I blocked that out completely. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. With good reason. And like the special effects and just like the climax. So it's great. It's really, really great. I really, really love that movie. And now I got to find it somewhere and buy it on DVD so I can watch the whole thing whenever I want and not be beholden to the streaming gods.
Yeah, they are fickle.
Indeed, girl. Yeah, because in case you didn't know, even if you buy something digitally,
you don't really own it.
You don't actually own it. If they lose their license or whatever, or just decide to take it off, you don't own that anymore. So always get analog, get that DVD. I also yesterday saw a musical written and starring Jennifer Nettles. You would know her as Amy Lee Gemstone from The Righteous Gemstones.
Okay. Amy Lee's the mom.
The mom, yes. The mom who's passed away.
Yes.
It's called Julia, the Poison Queen of Palermo,
Love
based
it.
on Julia Tofana, who was a poisoner in the 1600s in Italy in Palermo. It
I've heard of
was
this. Love that.
so good. It was so good. It was like smash the patriarchy. It was
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
So good. It's by the time this comes out, there'll only be like about 3 or 4 days left. It closes on August 2nd after it got extended. If you can go, it's downtown at PAC, which is right next to World Trade Center. It's so good. Like,
I
it's
love
so
that.
good.
I'd heard about that story. They like kill all the husbands kind of, right? Because they're abusive, awful pieces.
Yes.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the reason I saw it is because I wanted to do a story on it. And then National Geographic was like, well, all of these things are actually like wrong. And I was like, oh, National Geographic, I don't have time for this. So
Why'd you have to ruin it for me?
But it was so good.
I love
So
that.
good. It's kind of been likened to a female Sweeney Todd. That it's
Oh,
just like a revenge tale of like
yeah.
these mother and
Yeah.
I
feel
literally
like
getting chills about it. It's so good.
I love that. I feel like I stumbled on it when I was doing my Angel Makers of
Yeah,
Negev?
Nagarov.
Yeah.
Nagarov, yeah.
Oh, see, you know all the pronunciations. I love it. I love you.
I just remember when you did the story.
I don't
because,
even
yes,
I barely remember when I did the story. I don't have the pronunciation right in front of me, so I immediately forgot. My brain was like, I don't need that.
Because
Bye.
there's like a pattern of, it's very similar
Yeah.
to that.
I love it,
I mean,
though.
they obviously they changed things for the show was just fantastic. And that she like wrote it, like she wrote the whole show, and that she like stars in it. And I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I
It
love
was
that.
awesome.
Good for
It was
her.
awesome. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Smash
Amazing.
patriarchy.
Smash the patriarchy.
Mm-hmm.
I went to see the Odyssey.
Wait, didn't you do like some obscene, like a 6 a.m. thing?
I did a 6 a.m. showing
Girl,
of the
no.
Odyssey because
Girl,
everything
no.
else was sold out. So it was like going to the airport. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning.
Say,
I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. Got my entire
for
day.
a 3-hour movie.
Girl, it was so good though. And I will say, one, we were not the only people in the theater. So other people woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
No, there's like 3 a.m. showings that are sold out.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Everyone is taking it so seriously because they're like, we woke up. A lot of us didn't have our coffee. I'm not on my phone. I'm not talking. It's a serious movie.
Okay. I love that.
I loved it. I thought it was so good. I thought it was going to be overhyped. I honestly did. And I really enjoyed it. It's very well done.
The thing I'm hearing is that Samantha Morton is that.
Yes. One, yes.
And that there's a thing that happens that's crazy, but it's like, oh, by the way, that's all practical.
It's all practical. Girl, it's like straight out of a horror movie. Like the comments generally right now about that scene are like, Christopher Nolan just needs to make a horror movie already because like that was so
Let's go, girl.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, it took me by surprise for sure. Like I grabbed Johnny and was like, what the
Okay.
But it's so good. It's so well done.
All right. I think I got to do this because I was like,
I know.
And I'm just like a hater about like IMAX things.
Okay. I kind of get that.
Just because I feel a lot of the time, I think things like IMAX and 3D are used to cover up a bad movie and are a way to drive up ticket sales, like to be more expensive.
That's fair. Not for this.
And I'm not into like, I don't tend to be into super huge like blockbuster like action.
No, you're not a Marvel girly.
No.
Like,
I don't give a okay.
Yeah, I think you'll really enjoy it. The acting is superb.
I did see a really, because Tom Holland is in that, correct?
Yes.
So I saw a really cute reel of him talking about that they gave him the script because he's very dyslexic. So everyone else basically had to read the script like in their presence and then be like yay or nay, where he was allowed to take it home.
Oh, I didn't read it.
Yeah, he's very dyslexic, which is why like he's been asked if he would ever do like why hasn't he done SNL? He's like, no, I've been asked, and he's like, I would love to. I actually like can't read like cue cards. Like it's like, and if they make like a change last minute, he's like, I wouldn't be able to do that. So he like reads it and he loves it. And he tells, Zendaya, his wife, maybe.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it officially?
Yeah, he confirmed it in interviews.
Okay. Cute. Love that. Love that for them. That they were talking about it, whatnot. And then he came back and told Christopher Nolan, like, yeah, I'm super into this. And that Christopher Nolan was like, do you think that like your babe would be into playing Athena? And he just like comes home is like, oh my God. Like,
he's like, you should reread the script.
You should reread the script. She's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? He's like, I don't know. You should just like reread it. Like reread like this one role like very specifically. And she's like, what? It's like, yes, it was very cute. It's very sweet.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. I got to figure it out. And I got to go see this.
No, it's so good. Worth a watch. Worth waking up at 4:30 in the morning to go to the movie theater.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted. All right.
Yeah.
Any other recs or anything?
Nico came to visit this week and I made him rewatch Widow's Bay with me. He did not. Yeah. He had not seen it, but I rewatched it.
Correct.
Amazing.
What did he say?
Obviously. He loved it.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. Correct. And then we got sucked into Cape Fear too, which I'm enjoying. I've never seen the original.
Okay.
So I think that might be like changing my view about it. Have you watched it?
How far along are you? Yeah. I'm like one episode behind. Okay. I'm like one episode behind. I think an issue I'm having is that the family's too dumb to be realistic. Like that's I'm having a really hard time with that.
Yeah. That is actually true.
And then
that's so
because
funny.
in the 91 movie,
Robert
the daughter, that's Scorsese, the daughter is played by Juliette Lewis.
I knew this.
But she plays like 14, 15.
Okay.
Which is like, okay, like that makes sense why you're being dumb.
Yes.
Like this daughter's like 18.
They're all really dumb.
And like they're all like really dumb. And I'm like, my suspension of disbelief is like reaching its limit here, girl.
That's fair. That's fair. No one calls the cops, and they should call the cops like a million times. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're attorneys.
Yes.
Girl,
yes.
I can't like.
No, that's actually true. That is part of the reason I'm enjoying like watching it and trash talking. I mean, like they should have called the cops so many times before now. This is insane.
So many. And like, I think Javier Bardem's doing a really great job.
He's great.
Like that's why it's basically I'm only watching it for him.
Yeah.
Everything else is like really having difficulty suspending my disbelief like that level.
That's fair.
And not to be Patrick Wilson and Amy Adams are huge stars. Like they could be like, we need to rewrite this script because this is insane. Like this is actually like ridiculous. I mean, I think I'm committed till the end.
I mean, you're this far.
It's like what? There's like a couple episodes left.
I think if you haven't seen the last episode, you're like 7 episodes in and there's 10. So
yeah, I'm in it.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
Everyone's really dumb though. Like
that's fair. That's very fair.
freaked the out for way less. Nothing that has happened in that show has ever happened to me. I've called the cops for way less.
Yes. Fingers in the eyes. 100%.
Always.
Yes.
So it's a bit of a tough watch. It's like.
That's fair.
It's too many incidents. Because like there's a thing of like, okay, you think about your life, you're like, that was dumb. I did that.
Sure.
There was a red flag. There's so many that I'm like, I'm really losing my
so many. Yeah.
And it's like this family. It's like, what is happening with the water that this family's drinking? Because they're like all dumb.
Yeah.
Especially when the parents are supposed to be excellent at their jobs, which is the law.
Yeah, you're supposed to know the law really well, and you keep like doing a bunch of like highly illegal and then like not getting away with it.
The big thing also in the 1991 Cape Fear is that the Max Cady character goes into prison and he's like, I'm pretty much illiterate. And by the time he gets out, he took that time to learn how to read and then also learn the law. So he's like, I know how to with you within the bounds of the law.
Yeah.
Which
and
is
he also like realized how they him over because then he could read all the stuff. Yeah.
And it's like more interesting. Whereas with this, I'm like, girl, we're doing like some santeria. Like I woo-woo. Like I love that, but I'm also like, I don't.
Yeah.
What's happening here?
That's fair. They also made his crime a little more palatable, I think.
Uh-huh.
versus the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in it though. I'm in it.
I'm in it too. That's what happened. We got sucked in, and then I was like, these people are so dumb. And I was like, I mean, we're already like 7 episodes in. So 8 episodes in now.
Yeah. I lost 7 hours of my life. Like, I'm not getting it back.
Yeah.
But it's not, I guess, because it's still like
not
well
terrible.
made.
Yeah.
Like, it's well shot. I think it's well acted for the most
still
part.
Interesting.
They're dumb beyond reason.
Yes. 100%.
Okay, we're in agreement. As per usual.
We could, same page. We could rant about this all day. This is not a Cape Fear podcast.
No, it's not. It's not. It could easily turn into one.
It could.
But it won't, because it's actually a Widow's Bay podcast. Let's be
spoiler.
Real.
Yes.
We got to keep it to our A number 1.
Oh, yeah.
When
Nico told me he hadn't seen it, I was like, well, that's going on immediately. You're welcome.
That's like all I want. I want to encounter people in the world, and I'm like, great, because that's what we're doing right now.
It was great.
We're closing our tab, and we're going to my place to watch Widow's Bay. Right? What are you doing for the next 7 hours? Because that's what we're doing.
Johnny came home and he was like, oh my God, are you watching this again? And I was like, he hasn't seen it. Like, we had to, obviously.
This isn't like I'm doing a community service here right now.
This is not for me. This is for Nico, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I'm in the middle of my 3rd rewatch, so I'm not even.
No. There's no shame in that. Like, that's amazing. Yes.
Frustrated with Cape Fear. I'm like, I'm just going to turn on
Widow's Bay. It's perfection.
Widow's Bay. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh my God. It's so
all right.
good.
On that note, are you ready to get into our paranormal story of the week?
I would love to. I just want to shout out. We got 2 lovely reviews.
Oh my God.
I would like to call attention to.
Let's do it.
The first one is from Lila_B 2029. My mom got me hooked on this true crime paranormal podcast. I love all things about true crime on top of all paranormal stories and entities such as ghosts, aliens, and otherworldly things. They tell us about all of it in every episode. This is the best podcast she's introduced me to yet. It's called Another Horror Podcast, and the women, Amy and Monique, are absolutely awesome. You guys should check it out.
Oh,
thank you.
I love that. That's so cute.
Let us know where you are so that we can send you a free tote as a token of our gratitude for all the love. And then we also got one from Pita Bread 625. 5 stars, incredible storytelling. I discovered this podcast while stuck in traffic. 6 hours passed completely seamlessly as I was enthralled by Monique and Amy's storytelling. Whether it's a familiar tale or something confounding and new, this one is not just for fans of true crime and the paranormal, but those who can appreciate a tale well told. Bravo.
Oh, these were so wonderful.
They're so sweet.
I love that.
Thank you so much. Send us your address so we can give you your tote as a thank you.
Yes.
But yes, on that note, let's get into the spooky ookies.
Well, one of the reviews mentioned Otherworld. So that was a wonderful coincidence because my story this week comes from the Otherworld podcast.
Hell yeah.
And I thought I'd give you guys a little treat because I subscribe to their Patreon. So this is one of their Patreon exclusive episodes.
Oh,
so not from the normal feed. And
how exciting.
You know, if you have a little extra cash, you want to join their Patreon, highly recommend. Join our Patreon also, please and thank you.
Yeah. You can get these video episodes uncensored.
Yes. All the I love it.
Yes.
So this is from the Patreon episode titled Dream Stealer. The funniest thing is, I was like, this sounds interesting. I'm going to listen to this. The quote unquote Dream Stealer part, not even the craziest part of the episode.
Because I was already like, I don't think I'm prepared hearing that title.
It's crazy.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
This story comes from a woman named Mia. Mia grew up Russian Orthodox in an extremely religious household. Unsurprisingly, since her father is a priest. Mia describes Russian Orthodoxy as a very mystical religion and said growing up, she was inundated with the mystical and aware of the spiritual side of things. For example, when she was a kid, her parents would tell her that if someone ever came to her in her sleep and said they were an angel, she should always look at their feet to make sure they weren't hooved, i.e. the devil in disguise. Can you imagine giving your child this information? This never
love
occurred to me
this.
either.
No. I mean, no one's, I dream very infrequently.
Yeah,
Like that when when I dream, it's usually a nightmare.
that's awful. But also,
It
I
is
kind of
awful.
get that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically, well, because I guess I think we talked about this, that I have a lot of difficulty visualizing things.
Yes.
And I think
Same.
that actually might be the reason I don't dream.
Oh, that
I
makes
don't know if that's
sense.
accurate, but I
No, I
think
feel like
so.
that kind of tracks.
That so when I have a nightmare, I think it's just so pronounced that like it has to show up. And it's usually like it's either my teeth are falling out or
Oh, thank you.
yeah, that's the recurring one for me.
Nope.
Or my recurring acting nightmare is I'm in the wings getting ready to like go up on a show and there's like, oh no, like we're actually doing a show from like that you did like 5 years ago
That you don't know the allied to anymore?
that you don't like you have to like figure it out like right now.
No, I hate
And
that.
then like, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Surprise!
go. So I have
That's your
those.
cue.
Yeah, I had that one. And then being yelled at by my latest acting coach, who's like not mean. He's a
No.
little intense, but he's excellent and he's right all the time. But that was like the nightmare I had yesterday, last night.
Oh, no. I can
Um,
relate to that. Yeah.
And I was stressed, and I was like, I don't know why I'm stressed. He's actually like really kind, and he just knows what he's talking about. I just didn't want to disappoint him.
I literally was just going to say, you just don't want to disappoint him. And
Yeah,
that's the
because
fear. Yeah.
I'm a people pleaser, and I'm like, I just want to be good. I don't want to
I just want you to
suck.
be proud of me. Thank you.
Please love me. Metal as though. I love
Right?
that. Hell
Right?
yeah.
Mia mentioned that both she and her family had some pretty bizarre experiences when she was growing up that confirmed that, quote, the paranormal was always something that was very adjacent to me, end quote. She didn't really go into detail about what those were, but later in her interview, she said when her mom was trying to get pregnant, she was in church praying that she would have a baby. And suddenly, all of the saints came out of their icons and wrapped around her and told her she was going to have a baby. And the next week, she found out she was pregnant. So I'm assuming
That's
there's
a
more.
lot.
It's a lot. It's kind of crazy.
Especially since like Eastern European religious iconography, it's very like two-dimensional.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting image.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, oh, all of these statues are just kind of
No. Yeah.
these 2D things are just showing up and just like giving you a hug, being like,
Yeah. I thought that was
gotcha,
a
girl.
fun
Mhm.
little
Mhm.
story.
Okay.
Despite Mia's religious upbringing, her parents were apparently pretty chill. They didn't have a problem with her going to parties or drinking. The only thing they ever warned her about was
Ouija board?
Ouija boards.
Girl, yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
It's
you
universal.
knew it.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
said
yeah.
as soon as anyone pulled out a Ouija board to call them and they'd come pick her up.
Shut the up.
Quote, don't mess with that, end quote. I love it. They're like, you can drink, you can like smoke some, it's fine. Call us the second a Ouija board enters the chat. Absolutely not. I know. I'm obsessed with this
It's not
story.
like the second like is at the party, like you
No.
need to call us. It's like, no, girl, the second they're like, who wants to play a game?
No.
I'm
They're like,
obsessed.
anything else is fine in moderation. Absolutely zero tolerance for the Ouija board. No. Mia said, quote, I've always believed that we're saturated in the mystical and we're saturated in magic, and you don't have to look very far to find it, end quote. So she's always been open to and interested in the mystical, and over the years has pursued different practices and fields of understanding into that aspect of the world. Although she describes herself as a woo person, she said most of her friends are not. She's realized that a lot of people in that space aren't truly genuine about it and finds it hard to find those who are, particularly because she takes it so seriously. Mia said, quote, I think the power of the mystical is understanding how similar we are, how connected we all are. I think the most powerful people in those spaces are ones who use their gifts or use this information to connect with others and to love others and to bring other people into a higher awareness. And I think that that's hard to find anywhere in any religion and any spiritual practice, end quote. Then she met James. It was 2021, and they were both living in New York City at the time. And as many people do these days, they met on Tinder. When she saw his profile, her first thought was that he looked really mysterious. Not like he had obscured photos or anything. Quote, just something about him was hard to read, end quote. And since Mia prides herself on being good at reading people, she was intrigued.
Yeah.
Although she couldn't get a real feel for him, she said he seemed kind and very cute. They matched on the app and within 2 days had set a date to meet at a park between where they lived. When Mia arrived, she saw James sitting in a gazebo waiting for her. He was very handsome, wearing all black with black hair, and as he walked towards her, she said, quote, he just had this kind of magnetic presence, end quote. Although she'd seen his photo online, she felt that even if she hadn't, she would have still known it was him. There was just this immediate connection between them. So much so that they spent the next 36 hours together.
Okay.
Just in this bubble of the two of them in their own little world. But according to Mia, on steroids. Their connection was very intense. Mia said, quote, any space the two of us were in just felt really private. This feeling of being in a separate world. Like time just moved differently. I would sometimes leave his apartment and I would stand outside and say to myself, okay, my name is Mia. I live in Brooklyn, New York. It is the year 2021. Like I would have to really bring myself back to my center, end quote. According to Mia, James had a really emanating presence. He was one of those people who you immediately notice when he walks into a room. Not in a grandiose way, but in a really quiet, almost dark way. But apparently, he could also walk through New York completely unnoticed. Like, nobody talks to him, nobody touches him, nobody tries to get money from him.
Girl, what the is that like?
Right? Like, give me this
Girl.
power. Let's go.
Maybe we talked about this, that there was a thing I either read or someone said it to me not that long ago, that if you're the type of person that we could be in a room, we could be somewhere where there's like 1,000 people and I'm the one being asked for directions. Even if I have like the headphones or the whole thing. And I'm like, and I was always very like annoyed by it. And I was very annoyed by how like dogs are always
That's
like
your
on
power.
me. And that I read or someone told me that it was like, no, that's like your energy. Like you have this magnetic energy that it doesn't lie, that literally even like animals are like called to you. And I've been studying at this acting studio recently and it was my first day. And I ended up getting in the elevator with like one of the administrators there who has a dog. And the dog was like all up in my and she's like, do you have a dog at home? And I was like, no. This is just
You're like, the dogs
dog
just love me.
They're just like love me. And like, while normally in the past I would be super annoyed. I'm like, I would be like, get a dog away from me.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is just like the animals are like, oh, you're like a good energy. Like you're like a light. You're, a lighthouse. And like I'm drawn to that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I feel better about it. But I have no idea what this experience is like.
Right? I don't think any of us really do. Like, no. Mia described it as him having this deep force field around him. James was a very soft-spoken person, and everything he said was incredibly intentional, which was apparently the exact opposite of Mia. And they would often joke that they were like the sun and the moon. Whereas she is extremely extroverted, bubbly, loud, and chaotic, James was quiet and hyper-organized and vigilant. He only wore black, and his apartment was dark. Although he worked in tech for a large company, James was also extremely passionate about astrology. He was a Pisces and Mia was an Aries, which meant although they had conflicting personalities, is also, according to James, what attracted them to each other. She wasn't really into astrology prior to dating James, but said she's a big believer now because his observations about people's pasts and futures or personalities were always weirdly accurate. And according to Mia, James overall was much more in tune with the mystical than she was. Whereas she would describe herself as about a 5 and it didn't impact her daily life, she said James seemed like he was constantly at a 9, but that, quote, something about each other really brought out the weird in ways that felt kind of scary sometimes, and that we couldn't always control, end quote. Then, on their first night together, before they went to sleep, James turned to Mia and casually told her that occasionally he has the dreams of the people he sleeps next to. Like, BT dubs, just wanted to let you know.
Also, you gotta love where it's like, why are you dropping this on me like the second we bang? This is what we're doing.
Right?
Like you couldn't have dropped that on date number 2?
Like later, ease me into it. I guess it's like kind of nice. He's like giving her the heads up.
Sure.
Like, by the way, And even though they'd had all these crazy conversations about the universe and astrology and a bunch of other weird topics, Mia didn't believe him.
Mhm. That's
Quote,
because it's an insane thing to
yes,
say.
yes. Quote, like, what does he mean he has people's dreams? End quote. She didn't want to think about it too much because she didn't want to believe he was lying to her, but she also couldn't believe it was true. So the next morning, she teased him a little bit about it. Like, oh, did you have my dream last night? And he told her no, it doesn't happen all the time, but assured her that it would happen. And Mia just sort of rolled her eyes like, okay, sure, Jan. Their second night together, same thing. Nothing happened. On the third night, Mia stayed over. He warned her again, telling her he might have her dream tonight. And she was like, okay, weirdo, good night. Mia said she didn't remember having any dreams that night. But the next morning, as they were drinking coffee, James told her he'd had the strangest dream. He told her he was in a long hallway in a really old mansion with a bunch of wooden doors. The walls were covered in an old Victorian burgundy wallpaper, and there was a very tall woman with a gray bun wearing a black dress in the hallway with him. Mia stopped him and said, "That's my dream." James just looked at her and said, "Yeah, I know." And at this point, Mia starts freaking out because this was not just any dream that James was describing. This was her childhood nightmare that she'd repeatedly had every month since she was about 5 years old. Mia said, quote, "This dream has followed me my entire life, and I've never told anybody about it," end quote. She definitely wouldn't have told some guy that she only went on 3 dates with. And according to her, she's not a sleep talker. So there's absolutely no way he could have known about this dream. And yet somehow, quote, "He is telling me about the most intimate nightmare that I have ever had," end quote. But again, Mia doesn't want to believe it. So she starts quizzing him on the dream. She asked him what was on the walls. There were always portraits on the walls of people and animals, but she said she made sure not to give him any leading questions. She didn't ask what pictures were on the walls, just what was on the walls. He told her there were portraits of people, and next to the people, there were portraits of animals, and that on both sides of the hallway, there were these long, locked doors. He gave her so many details that perfectly described her dream that she finally stopped him and asked if he was scared. Because in her dream, the woman was a very evil figure that was always trying to harm her. James said he wasn't scared, but only because he knew it wasn't his dream. Then he told her something even weirder, that when he showed up in the dream, he was with other people that he didn't recognize. And somehow he knew that they were there to fix it. He said Mia herself wasn't present in the dream, which, since Mia said she didn't have the dream that night, makes sense. Mia said she just sort of stared at him in shock afterwards. She hadn't wanted to believe him, but somehow he'd been able to describe a dream she'd never told him about perfectly. And apparently, whatever James and these people did to fix it worked. Mia said, quote, "I have never had that
Shut
dream
the
again. And
up.
I had had this dream at least once a month since I was 5 years old. It's so weird," end quote.
What the is going on?
Right? Girl, here's the thing. Like, we're never going to know what's going on. It's just weird as
Did she look at his feet? Does he have hooves? Like,
Right.
what's going on, girl?
No, no,
Is this a Lucy Ferns situation?
no. But put a pin in that. You might somehow be closer than you think, but you'll see.
Okay.
She doesn't know if the people he saw were angels or her ancestors, but whatever these protective entities were, they had somehow gotten rid of her nightmare. And she was very grateful to both them and James because this dream had never stopped scaring her. And finally, it was gone. She regretted not asking him more about his experiences with sharing people's dreams, but said she was just in such shock about it that she left his place right after and never brought it up again. Although she admits that she does remember thinking, what have I got myself into? And like I said before, believe it or not, that wasn't even the weirdest thing that happened with James. Now, important to note, James wasn't born in the United States. Yiya doesn't say exactly where he was born, just that he came from a country that had experienced a pretty significant civil war around the time of his birth, and that he moved here when he was about 10 or 11. She said he had trauma from growing up under those conditions, what James called the heaviness. He told Yiya the heaviness from that time and from that place and from that war really stuck with him. James didn't speak any English when he arrived in America, so he grew up with this feeling of separation. Like there were two separate people in him, one that was from his home country and one that was American. And even though Yiya had gone to school for the language he grew up with, he never liked speaking to her in that language. She thought maybe it was because she wasn't really good at it, but James said that wasn't it, that it was just really difficult for him to internally code switch. And he would often tell Yiya that his American self was dating her, not his other self.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It's a little weird.
Like I understand the code switching, and I understand being bilingual and how like sometimes,
I'm sure, yeah.
you know, and especially like sometimes if you're like reading something and just the other language is decided we're on, and
Nope,
then you're
this
like,
is my
I don't
time.
understand what I'm reading, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, it's the other language. I'd never be like, no, like the Cuban Monique is like dating you. Like,
Yeah, not
like
the American Monique.
American
It's
Monique
weird.
doesn't know
It's
you
weird.
are. Like she's single and ready to mingle. I don't love that. That's very strange.
I mean, I can't speak to this experience at all. I don't speak another language. So I
Yeah,
can't relate to this. But yeah,
it's-
Yiya does say she has other friends who kind of said a similar thing of like, there's their American self and then there's their self that's from their country of origin.
I understand like culturally, like, and there's like customs and, you know, how you behave differently. And if you're around different, like, I understand all
Yeah.
those things. I don't know. I've never seen it that way. And even as someone who like, you know, being first generation American and growing up Cuban and how, and all of that,
Yeah.
and all that unpacking and being a girl and a middle child and the only girl and all of that fun trauma that comes with that. I don't know. I guess it's just something that I never thought of, and it never occurred to me to say, because I'm still
Yes.
one person ultimately.
That's fair. Well, apparently James does not feel that way.
Yes, correct.
And they ended up talking about his feelings of separation a lot because it was something James was constantly struggling with. So one night, they were laying in bed discussing this, talking about how it might be helpful for him to go home since he hadn't been back since he was a teenager.
Mhm.
That maybe by going home and intentionally trying to close these emotional loops, it might resolve the integration he was lacking, and that could be really good for him. James told her he wanted to do that, but that he was scared and didn't feel like it was the right time. And as he was saying this, Yiya just happened to look towards the bedroom door, which had a mirror on the back of it. Which I know was like your favorite
No,
thing from Widow's Bay.
it's the best. It is the best
Which made me
joke
think of
in
you.
Widow's Bay.
Yes.
And also it's funny because like it wasn't until like retrospectively that I realized like, oh, there's like a lot happening with mirrors in that show, just like across the board. But that is the best sight gag in
It's so
all
good.
of that show.
Yes.
I don't love mirrors at night.
Girl.
I don't love them. Like
Yeah.
my childhood bedroom had a bathroom connected to it, and it's all mirrors, which is like when you're doing makeup and getting ready,
It's great.
aces.
Nightmare.
But it would be like, I'm someone who has to pee 80 times a night, and it'd be like,
Don't look at the mirrors.
eyes
Don't look at the
looking
mirrors.
down. We're
Yep.
not acknowledging the mirror.
Yep.
I don't want to see anything.
No.
I don't want to see my reflection. I don't want to see the reflection of something. I don't want to see anything. I'm just going to like mind my business, pee, and like wash up. But I really don't like a mirror situation, especially at night.
I get it. That's
Yeah.
fair. Yiya could see herself, but the person next to her was not James.
I hate this. Oh my God. Okay.
I hate it, but I love it. It's
No,
so
same.
crazy. It was James's body, and he was wearing the same clothes, and the man was making the same mouth movements, mimicking James completely. But it was a totally different face.
What the f?
It was an old man's face. Mia kept looking at the man's reflection, convinced it was somehow a trick of the light. But no matter how long she stared, it was clearly not James's face.
This is like the lady in the hallway. This is the nightmare
That's
of
what I'm
all
saying.
nightmares.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the episode was called Dream Stealer, and I was like, it should be called Old Man in the Mirror. Like, that's the crazy thing.
You're like, steal these dreams, please. Because this is horrible.
That was a terrible nightmare. Like,
Yeah.
This is so scary. Mia said, quote, "So, of course, my first thought is, okay, well, I'm crazy. I'm quite literally losing my mind. But then I realized if I'm even having the thought that what I'm seeing could potentially not be true, that's not really consistent with a psychotic experience." End quote.
Yes, of course.
And strangely, she wasn't scared at all by what she was seeing. She just had this sense of wonder, like, what is going on? She kept looking, trying to figure out who this man was. According to Mia, James, the real one, was pretty ethnically ambiguous, but the man in the mirror looked like someone from James's country of origin, like maybe it was a relative of James.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, she turned to him and said, "Hey, can you look in the mirror for me?" He
This is like some Dorian Gray.
Right? Girl. He gave her a strange look. Quote, "Because of course, that's an insane thing to ask somebody to do in the middle of speaking." End quote. But again, she didn't want to give him any sort of lead or influence him. She said, quote, "I didn't want to inform him in any way of what I was seeing because I was still pretty sure there was a decent chance I was crazy." End quote.
Okay.
But when James looked in the mirror, his face immediately went white and he said, "Who the is that?" Girl, I know.
Burn it all the down.
Right? I'm like, we have to break up. You're great. Love it. Love the mystery and the mysticism.
The
But like,
vibe.
no, it's a wrap.
We're saging, we're egg cleansing, we're throwing the mirror out. We're going to IKEA, getting some new,
Girl.
like,
So James asked, "Who the that?" Mia said she didn't know. She asked James who he thought it was, but he had no idea either. Neither of them knew who this was or why this was happening. And unlike Mia, James was completely terrified by what he was seeing, which is understandable.
yeah.
Quote, "It's pretty scary to look in the mirror and not see yourself. That is some horror movie stuff." End quote. Correct.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Even though James had obviously experienced his fair share of mystical and weird things in his life, this was something that had never happened to him before, that he couldn't control or explain. They were both looking in the mirror, and the man was still there. It wasn't like they saw it for a few seconds or it was flickering in and out. The man is just there, clearly visible and clearly not James. Again, Mia wondered if maybe it was just a trick of the light, but said, quote, "No, the man had different facial hair. It was an old man," end quote. Although the man was still mirroring James's mouth movements, he was also clearly smiling, which was odd because James was not. He was visibly upset.
That.
Yes.
Hate it.
It sounds very creepy, but Mia said the man looked like he thought their reactions to him were funny.
I don't give a
right?
I hate
No,
it.
thank you.
I hate it.
No, thank you.
It's giving very Hereditary when the Alex Wolff character looks in the like reflection in the classroom and then there's just like his like shit-eating grin, like
I hate
reflection.
Yes. Girl, no, thank you.
I hate this.
Mia said, quote, "He's not laughing in a malicious way. He's laughing at the fact that we think he's scary," end quote. Mia told James the man was probably the unintegrated part of him, his other non-American self. But James said he didn't care what it was. It needed to go.
Correct.
He got up and threw a blanket over the mirror, then immediately started saging the entire apartment.
Yeah, correct.
So he knows what the is up. He knows the correct protocol.
Yep.
But for some reason, James seemed to think Mia had something to do with this man appearing, although she was positive it wasn't because of her. Every time she went over to his apartment after that, he would put a blanket over the mirror and wouldn't allow her to be in the same room as the mirror. Yeah. James
Get rid of
was...
the mirror then.
Right? We just can get a... You don't even need that mirror. Why do you need that
No.
mirror?
Let's get another one.
Bye. Correct.
Put on Facebook Marketplace. Let someone take it.
There you
Let
go.
them deal with the old man. Whatever.
Not my old man. Not my problem. Yeah.
Exactly.
James was so freaked out by the incident that he even brought it up to his psychoanalyst, who, because of COVID, he met with over Zoom. Now, Mia wasn't there for this meeting, obviously,
Okay.
but James told her about it after the fact. He said he told his therapist what happened, expecting her to think they were both crazy and say that they just had some sort of collective hallucination. But instead, she got really quiet and said, "Listen, James, I wasn't going to tell you this because I didn't think it would be helpful to you. But I believe you because every time you talk about your home country, I see that man too."
Get the out of here. What the is going on?
What the is going on?
Is he Dracula? What's happening?
It's like, we don't really know. Mia's theory is that it's just like his other self that's like
Also,
coming
like,
through.
I mean, this isn't the first time he's been in the same room as a mirror. Like, is this just happening now in his life? Clearly not, because the psychotherapist is like, girl, like, I've been seeing this old dude as
I just
you this
wasn't
whole
going to
time.
mention it.
Because I thought it was rude, you know? Like,
Like, by the way, are you suddenly an old man? What's happening?
I don't love this. Like, I love it, but I don't love it. It's a love that for you, obviously.
Yes. No, 100%.
Mhm.
Also, kudos to the professionalism, because if I was talking to somebody, their face changed into an old man in the middle of talking to them, you're like, stop everything. What is happening?
Girl, I've been ghosted by therapists for way less. Let me tell you.
No. Mia said she just started laughing when he told her, quote, "Because what are you supposed to do when you're faced with something that absurd?" End quote. But she was also really grateful his therapist told him that, because James stopped blaming Mia for this happening. However, that was the last time they talked about it. Mia said, quote, "He really doesn't like to talk about it. It's one of the only weird things that he feels just incredibly uncomfortable with. And I get it. It's terrifying. It's also really cool." End quote. The two of them.
Sure.
If I had this story to tell and it didn't happen to me, I would be like, yeah, this is pretty cool. It's
100%.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. The audio listeners, you couldn't see my face, but maybe you could hear it.
The deep uncomfortableness, and I hate this. Yes.
Yes. Or you could join us on YouTube or Patreon so that you can see the face.
So you can see it.
Up to you.
All the faces.
Mm-hmm.
The two of them ended up dating for about 6 months, but eventually broke up. Mia said, quote, "We sort of stopped being able to control the weird stuff in a way that I found kind of exciting, but was scary. And we got frustrated with each other a lot. I wish I could tell you specific weird things that happened, but just the energy got so heavy and so dark, and just these weird coincidences started to happen more and more. We care about each other deeply, but clearly something weird happens to us when we're together that we can't control." End quote. The two remained friends, but Mia said they have to be careful not to spend too much physical time together because it gets weird really fast. But he still texts her on her birthday every year and tells her her astrological forecast for the year. The host, Jack Wagner, obviously wanted to talk to James to get his side of the story, but said, quote, "Basically, he dropped off the face of the earth." End quote. He did find proof that he exists, that he's a real person,
Okay.
but apparently not much more than that. According to Mia, James used to have an online presence, including a website for his astrology, but everything is completely gone now. She tried to Google his name, but, quote, "Apparently everyone in the world has this man's name all of a sudden, and none of them are him." End quote. He still texts her on her birthday every year, so she knows he's still alive, but said that's the only time she ever hears from him. She still can't explain how James was able to fix her nightmare and who the people with him were, or why he appeared as an old man in the mirror. Quote, "It is still one of the strangest things that has ever happened to me." End quote. And that is the story of Mia's experiences with her mysterious ex-boyfriend, James.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I know, right? I feel like I haven't heard something like this before.
No, neither
Neither thing. They were
Yeah.
both really weird. She sprinkles in like a couple more random stories about like James kind of like knowing, seeming like a little psychic, but it was like too much
Beefy
to really
dubs.
go through all of it.
Okay. Yeah.
For example, he was convinced he was never going to meet her best friend. And she was like, yeah, you are. Like, you're my boyfriend, my best friend. They're going to meet. And he was like, no, I just don't feel like it's going to happen. And like, sure enough, every single time they made plans to meet, something happened to prevent them. Like one time the subway caught on fire.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so they had to reschedule. And sure enough, they like never met. So there's a lot of little like things like that. You could like pick up vibes. But the dream thing is weird.
Yes. Because the whole thing about like, oh, we can't really spend too much time together because like then kind of everything pops off. There are definitely people in my life that I'm more like psychically connected to than not.
Yes.
And even when I've tried to rationalize it that it's, oh, I've known them longer or whatever, I've learned that's not the case. I was taking this like witch class, whatever, like you do. And
as one does, obviously.
Part of it was like was like reading people and like like intuitive reading and tarot or oracle card, whatever spoke to you. Because everyone's different. And everyone in the class, with the exception of one person I met, like I didn't know. But there was like one woman that it was like everything I read was like it was so vivid when I would like read her, and it wasn't like cold. I would just be like, and it would just be so specific with this one woman. And even when I would try like different ways of like, whether it was just like oracle cards or like visualizing something, it would be really, really specific for her. And it wouldn't necessarily be with other people. So that I felt like that for some reason, just like the two of us were very like, we were on the same wavelength or something, which was very interesting because how she read was like completely different. It was like she'd get an image and she'd draw it, and then she would interpret what that image meant. I love that. Which I'd never seen or heard of before. So I get that.
Yeah, especially like I've definitely met people before where you vibe instantly. Like
you and me.
There is not a second of silence in conversation. Yeah. Everything is relatable to you. You get their humor. You feel like you've known them forever. That was like how I felt when I met you. I was like,
the two of us.
We have lived a life together before this at some point.
Yeah. I mean, so I always remember how at the end of the 4 weeks, because I met everyone on the same day, one of the guys was like, how long have you and Amy known each other? And I was like, I met her the same day I met you.
We just met.
Like
oh.
So like I get all that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the that has to do with the dreams or the old man.
It's so weird, dude. I don't know what to think about it. And there's no explanation. There's no like, he's the one who's into the mystical and even he was like, I don't know what this is or what's going on. Like,
so because I'm trash and a perv.
Do you want little sex dreams? What are you doing?
No, I was literally like, like there are people who are like into like looking in the mirror while they do the deed. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Why would you even put that on my head?
I'm sorry, because my head is polluted and I need to share that. I'm sorry. I need to get it out.
That didn't even occur to me. I love you. That's hysterical.
Perfect. I'm disgusting.
No. I don't know. Is he like a hot older guy or like what's going on? Is this like daddy vibes or something?
I don't know. Maybe he's not. I don't know.
I love you. That's so funny.
I love you. Thank you for loving me and my polluted mind.
Oh my gosh, always. It's my favorite.
That is so fascinating and weird. I don't even know what to make of it.
Right? Anyway, check out the Otherworld Patreon. It's wonderful. You can get weird extra stories like these. And like I said, I had to leave kind of a lot of things she mentions out just because for time purposes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do really interesting deep dives on, figures.
Right.
Aleister Crowley.
Zozo?
I listened to that.
Yeah.
And then, they have like little extra stories sometimes that don't make it into the regular feed. So that was your taste of the Otherworld Patreon, which I really enjoy.
Thank you. Excellent job, as per usual.
Thank you. Now,
what the with that story?
I know. Girl, I knew the mirror thing was going to get you because it got me. But I was like, why is this episode even called Dream Stealer? Like, this is the crazy This is the right here.
Dude in the mirror haunt my dreams.
No. No, thank you. Like I said, I'm honestly like impressed that she like kept dating him. You're gonna be like, I gotta go. I'd already be like 1 foot out the door, like backing up. Like,
The
good luck with
second
that,
the dream, I'd be like, thank you for that.
right?
Once the mirror entered
Helpful.
the chat, I'd be like, nah, girl, I can't
No.
do this.
There's not enough stage in the world, honey. I love you, but no.
Absolutely not.
No. On that note, what are you doing to us this week? That was a big sigh. I am concerned.
No. That was in
Okay.
reference to your
Okay. I was like, oh, I'm in for it.
no. Yeah, it's the true crime, so it's kind of up, but it's like we're not having, nightmares. I don't think about this.
Okay.
It's just like up.
The normal up. I love it.
Yeah. So sources, medium.com, clarin.com, vocal.media, buenosaires.herald.com, Wikipedia, and 2 sources that I will be withholding until later.
Secret sources.
I
love it. Also, I feel like there's going to be some Spanish pronunciations in this, and I love it.
Yeah, there sure are.
It's my favorite. It's so sploosh.
You're hilarious, and I love you. Oh my God. And we're going to start it right meow, girl. Maria de las Mercedes Bernardina Boya Aponte, better known as Yiya, thanks to her friends and family.
Jesus. That's a lot of names already.
Like, this is more than even like the regular amount of a lot of names for Spanish people. She was born on May 20th, 1930 in Corrientes, Argentina. Despite growing up within a humble military family, Yiya knew that she was destined for greater things and yearned to leave her hometown for the bustling big city of Buenos Aires, 600 miles away. As Yiya grew into adulthood, she became very popular with the fellas. The tall blonde, who was said to have, quote, acted like a queen or some sort of diva, end quote, had a charisma and magnetism about her that gave her the pick of the litter. So in 1953, when she was 23 years old, Yiya married Antonio Murano, a lawyer 14 years her senior. And while Antonio was smitten with his young bride, it's safe to say that the feeling wasn't mutual. As Yiya only married the lawyer for financial security and to finally realize her dream of living in Buenos Aires. The couple moved to a 1-bedroom apartment in the Montserrat neighborhood in the heart of Buenos Aires. The area had many restaurants and cafes, as well as playhouses and movie theaters. And Yiya's social life absolutely thrived. The captivating blonde drew attention everywhere she went, donning the role of a wealthy, sophisticated socialite, always dressed to impress, wearing expensive jewelry, furs, and imported clothing. Apparently, Yiya was a dead ringer for famous Argentinian actress named Juanita Martinez, so much so that she would often get approached by fans asking for her autograph. But Yiya would never correct them.
I was going to say, this probably loved that. It was like, here you go.
100%.
Yeah.
Offering her signature while pretending to be the starlet. Also, like, maybe I have better... no.
Does she not look like her?
I mean, kind of. I don't know,
Okay.
but I also like
this is like when people tell me I look like somebody famous, and I'm like, sure, if you need an optometrist, but love that.
Oh, the Scarlett Johansson thing? No, you like have the bone structure, 100%.
I've gotten so many different people that I'm like, I don't even believe people anymore. I'm like, this is
but they're all
insane.
beautiful, so like, don't worry about it.
I know, I'll take
they're all
it.
stunning. I mean, like, yeah, I think she looks fine. But
Sure.
so the thing that keeps coming up kind of throughout everything, that anything that anyone talks about is that's like, oh, she's very elegant, which is very Spanish. It's like muy elegante, muy fina. Like, she's very like, oh wow. Like, that's a very Spanish thing to be like. They don't even necessarily talk about her being beautiful. It's her being elegant. Like, she's like poised and she's sophisticated.
Very polished.
Very polished.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, like, okay, cool. But it's like in everything. Like, police reports, it's like she's very elegant.
It's on the record. Like,
it
she's
literally is.
I love that.
Spanish people are also, they're a vibe. Like, if you know, you know. So she would autograph as this famous woman, like, all of the time. She would never be like, no. Yeah. So Yiya was extraordinarily extravagant and was known to be very generous with her friends, treating them to dinners, lavish gifts, and nights out at the theater. But the thing is, Yiya wasn't a socialite. She wasn't educated or high class. And while Antonio was a lawyer who owned his own firm, they were very much middle class. Antonio would say, quote, "We live with just enough," end quote. But Yiya flaunted a lifestyle that didn't match her husband's income. And while Antonio knew that something was fishy, he never asked where his wife was getting her lavish fur coats. So,
Oh no.
where the was she getting all this money?
I know. There's so many options.
So many.
Do you have a sugar daddy on the side? Are we stealing them? Are we selling a little bit, maybe? No tea, no shade?
So, turns out Yiya was having affairs all over town with several
Sugar daddy.
quote unquote well-to-do gentlemen who supplemented her lifestyle. Despite being over a decade older than her, Yiya's husband Antonio was extremely naive. He was so devoted to his
Aw.
wife that it wasn't so much that he turned a blind eye to her many infidelities, but that his rose-colored glasses were so firmly affixed when it came to Yiya that he was none the wiser that his wife was stepping out on him and making a fool of him all over town.
Oh.
Sweet baby angel.
Sweet,
No.
innocent little man. Okay.
In 1966, Yiya had a son, Martin. And while Yiya presented as charming and charismatic to the outside world, Martin recalls his mother being extraordinarily unloving towards him, constantly putting him down and treating him like behind closed doors. But whenever they were out in public, she was Mother of the Year, desperate to impress
course.
those around her. Just narcissism 101. Yeah. Martin described his mother as a psychopath, someone who cared a lot about, he's like,
Yeah.
BT
We're not
Dubs.
mincing words. I love it. No.
Someone who cared a lot about wealth, status, and how other people perceived her, which, again, narcissism 101. Martin recalled that growing up, he always found it very strange seeing mothers picking up their kids from school and the children running to them and hugging them, and seeing the mothers picking up their kids' backpacks saying, quote, "I never had that," end quote. Yiya's cousin Carmen's granddaughter Mariana corroborated this. She and Martin were the same age, so they grew up together, and she said, quote, "It was quite unsettling to witness Martin's relationship with his mom. She treated him poorly. She looked down on him, treated him like he was beneath her, like he wasn't smart, or like he just wasn't capable," end quote. Now, you might think that having a kid would pump the brakes on the whole extramarital affairs thing, but you'd be wrong, because Yiya even brought her son along to her clandestine meetings.
No. I was gonna be like, kids are expensive. She was like, I need the money even more now. That's wild.
Girl. On May Avenue, there was a cafe in a famous hotel where Yiya would go for breakfast every morning, and she would drag her son along. Martin remembers an incident when he was 9 years old where his mother took him to the cafe for breakfast to meet up with a man. And she told her son that he couldn't tell his father about it and had to keep the breakfast date a secret. Martin said that he had no idea what a lover was or that that's who Yiya was actually meeting with. Also worth noting that whenever he refers to Yiya, he almost always calls her by her name instead of my mother.
Mom. Yeah. That's very telling.
Yeah. At the cafe, they met up with a man Martin didn't know. And while he said he couldn't understand what the man and Yiya were saying as they were speaking in code, at one point the boy recalled telling the strange man, "My dad said," to which his mother's lover cut Martin off, telling the boy, quote, "No, call him Antonio, I'm your dad," end quote.
Excuse me? News to me?
Also, like, shut the up. Who the are you?
Don't say you don't need to say anything.
Don't say anything. If you're not going to pass a scone, shut the up. The are we doing here? Absolutely the
love
not. Stop.
Also, okay is an acceptable response. Okay. Sure.
And there's this saying in Spanish that kids speak when chickens piss. And it's like, you never see chickens piss, so kids don't ever speak. So that
Okay. I love a colorful saying. And it's regardless of the language. That's amazing.
I mean, I was never told this, but I know like my mother was told this growing up. That I guess lost favor in the 80s. But you could say that or just like ignore the kids. That's also a thing. As Martin got older and brought up the fact that his mother was obviously cheating on him, Antonio wouldn't hear it because I guess ignorance is bliss. Although the number was never confirmed, Yiya later claimed to have had over 200 lovers.
Oh, okay.
Some of whom...
Question mark? I guess. I don't like the way we're going about it particularly, but...
Sure. Girl, you want to cash that D? Respect. There's other ways. I don't know. There's cuter ways to go about it. I think.
Yeah.
Some of whom she had swindled for money via various methods, including blackmailing. While Yiya wasn't exactly subtle with her affairs, it was known that her husband wasn't wealthy enough to explain the fine imported clothes and fur coats and expensive jewelry Yiya was always seen out and about wearing. So whenever people would ask how she could sustain her extravagant lifestyle, the word on the street was that Yiya was very savvy with financial operations. So at this point in the late 1970s, the economic situation in Argentina was royally to put it very mildly. In 1975, inflation rose sharply when the government significantly increased wages amid a social crisis. Combined with chronic budget deficits, this led to money printing and a surge in prices. By 1983, inflation had reached 343%, skyrocketing
My
to
God.
over 3,000% in 1989.
What the That's
Like,
insane.
I tried to understand this, and I even did that thing of like explain this to me like I'm a 4-year-old, and it was still like I'm not an economist and I don't understand geopolitics. So I was like, there's very minimally that I can do other than like a new dictatorship came in and like changed a bunch and it like everyone. As a result, Argentinians spent their money as soon as they got it because a $2 apple today could easily cost $5 tomorrow. So the only way to be financially secure at this time was to have your money make money, usually through high interest rates via either legal or illegal means. So everyone at this point in the country was struggling, but those close to Yiya noticed that there really hadn't appeared to have been a change in financial status for their friend. She was still wearing the finest clothes, going out to the theater, and wining and dining her friends. She regularly went out with a group of women that included her second cousin, Carmen Zulema de Giorgio de Venturini, who went by Mima, Yiya's longtime friend and neighbor, Nida Adelina Gamba, and another friend, Leila Formisano de Ayala, or Chicha. And she told the girls that she had been investing in a money pool that offered a higher interest rate than the bank, claiming that she wanted to share the good fortune with her friends.
No, don't over your friends. Come on.
And cousin. Yiya convinced the women to invest their money with her.
Of course she did. She's very elegant.
Y fina, muy elegante. Yes, 100%.
I just want to hear you speak more Spanish. That's what I'm trying to get out of this. I'm mesmerized. I love it.
I mean, like being called elegant in Spanish is like the highest compliment you can be given.
Okay.
It's
I love that.
Being beautiful, being wealthy,
elegant.
The number one is elegant, which is like in English, you're like, okay, but it's the A number. And then every single thing written about her is that she's elegant. It's like she's tall, blonde, and elegant. Like it just keeps coming up.
Other people are like, take my money. Oh no.
So these women had no reason to be wary of Yiya. She had always been so good to them and generous with them, always pampering the friend group. She regularly paid for the women's meals at the cafe and treated them to nights out at the theater. So the women felt that they could absolutely trust her when it came to her financial abilities and economic stability. So all three women handed over some money that they had set aside so that Yiya Murano could basically serve as their financial advisor and invest their money with the promises of making significant profits. So you can imagine their delight when Yiya showed up at each of their doors with tea, pastries, and a wad of cash in hand, telling them that this was the return their money had made of the high interest. It was a lot of money. But if they wanted more where that came from, they would have to invest more and give Yiya even more money to yield an even greater return. And it didn't take much persuasion to get the three women to reinvest. They were happy to do so. Again, inflation was through the roof. So any way to make extra money, especially passive income, was ideal. Not
and
only
she
that,
just showed up with a ton of cash.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this works.
This is legit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And Chicha had been saving up for a trip to Europe. And with this extra money, she was going to be able to make it the trip of her dreams. And the women's money turned a profit a couple of times. And then Yiya suddenly stopped paying them back. Yiya would drop by the women's apartments with tea and pastries to discuss their finances. But instead of bringing them their latest earnings, she arrived equipped with excuses, saying that there was an issue with the payout, but assuring them not to worry, all was well, and that their money would be available on X date. But when that day would come, The goalpost would keep getting pushed back. And so it went for several months. And the women started getting impatient with Yiya, demanding their money back, especially Chicha, who had started paying for her Europe trip. She'd even gotten a passport, so she really needed that money. And in case you haven't already put it together, Yiya wasn't a financial genius. She was running a Ponzi scheme, scamming those closest to her so that she could maintain her lavish lifestyle. Because while she claimed that her lovers supported her financially, alleging that they would give her extravagant gifts up to $400 to $500 at a time, and that if she ever asked for a loan, that they would give her the money to pay back, several of her lovers later testified that they had paid for like a coffee and like given her some money, but nothing like what she was talking about, and definitely not enough to live on. Yiya desperately wanted to be seen as wealthy and sophisticated and elegante, obviously.
Yes.
The A for one. So she convinced herself that she belonged to high society. And this is also another Spanish thing, and especially like South American class structure is very much a thing. And it's very important, and it matters, and it means something for some reason. And it's nonsense, but it like matters what family you're from, where you come from, all this. And societally, you're looked down on if you're not whatever class and whatever status and whatever.
I hate it.
Yeah. She wanted to buy expensive gifts and entertain, but she needed money to do it. And convincing her two closest friends and cousin to give her their life savings to quote unquote invest for them is how she got it. Yiya lived lavishly on their money while her friends enjoyed her attention and dreamt about their exciting financial futures, none the wiser that their lunches and theater tickets that Yiya was generously treating them to had been purchased using their own money. It is estimated that Yiya Murano took around $300,000 from these women. And as time went on, her friends began more emphatically demanding their money back. But Yiya didn't have it. And it's clear that she had no intention of coming forward and admitting what she'd done. Yiya was completely and she knew it. And she knew that she needed to figure a way out of this. Then on March 24th, 1979, tragedy struck. Yiya's cousin, Mema, was found by her neighbors at the bottom of the stairs in a hallway in her apartment building. She had been experiencing nausea and excruciating stomach pains since the previous evening. She felt suffocated and went outside, where she lost consciousness and fell down the stairs. One of the neighbors, who was a doctor, gave Mema mouth-to-mouth and chest compressions, while others called an ambulance from a nearby hospital. At that exact moment, one of Mema's relatives arrived at the scene carrying a box of fine pastries. Everyone there recognized the elegant, tall, blonde woman, as she had visited Mema often. In fact, she'd stopped in to see her the night before. It was her cousin, Yiya Murano.
Oh, no.
As soon as she got there, Yiya kept asking if her cousin was alive, if she was going to survive, and if she'd said anything before losing consciousness. Which, kind of a weird thing to say.
Highly suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She didn't, mention me, did she, or anything?
Yiya convinced Mema's building manager to let her into the woman's apartment, claiming that she needed to get the unconscious woman's address book so that she could call her daughter Diana and let her know what happened to her mother. But instead of looking for the notebook with Diana's number, Yiya grabbed a few slips of paper as well as a small bottle and put them in her purse.
Let me just do the most suspicious thing possible.
Better actually, though.
At least grab the book while you're at it.
Be better at lying. Just
come on.
Everyone. Sell the
grab
lie.
That first and then be like, oh, maybe I also need this paper and this bottle of poison that's not poison. Don't worry about it.
Yiya then accompanied her cousin in the ambulance as they rushed to the hospital. While medical professionals were working to save Mema's life, they were stopped dead in their tracks when Yiya asked them if they felt that an autopsy would be necessary, which, again, was a really weird question to ask about a woman who's still alive at this point.
She's still alive?
Yes!
Oh, my God.
She's not doing great, but she's still alive. You're like, do we need an autopsy or
Did this girl go to suspicious class 101? What?
Suspicious school.
Oh my God, I can't.
But unfortunately, Mema did die on the way to the hospital.
No.
Carmen Zulema de Giorgio de Venturini was only 51 years old. The coroner deemed the woman had died of natural causes, listing non-traumatic cardiac arrest as the cause of death on her death certificate.
No. We need to review this. Did you hear all the suspicious questions?
So,
Girl.
despite the whole show about getting Mema's daughter's phone number to tell her what was going on with her mom, Yiya never called her.
Stop.
Mema's daughter, Diana, eventually found out that her mother had passed away. And when she went to Mema's apartment a few days later, she was sorting through her late mother's things when she realized the promissory note worth 20 million Argentinian pesos was missing from her mother's belongings.
No.
Diana went to the police, telling them the whole story, that she knew that Yiya owed her mother a large amount of money, and that in the months leading up to Mema's death, she had grown more insistent that Yiya repay her because Mema had wanted to buy a house, and that it was super up that Yiya, who again was Mema's cousin, had taken advantage of her mother while she was dying, that instead of worrying about her, she tucked her way into her mother's apartment to retrieve the IOU slip that she had written so that Yiya wouldn't have to pay back this debt. Because of Diana's statement, Yiya was brought in for questioning. But again, she was very charismatic. It is written in the thing. Elegante.
Very elegant. Yeah.
Elegant. That's all you gotta be if you're Spanish.
All right.
That's it. That's the pinnacle. And during her interrogation, she denied taking any slips. So because they didn't have any evidence against her, the cops let Yiya go.
Stop. This is what being elegant will get you? Okay.
Yeah, girl.
All
Yeah.
right. Noted.
Yeah. Diana, for her part, went back to her mother's building a few days later and confronted the super about letting Yiya in and asked her if she took anything from her mother's apartment. And he told her that she'd taken a few slips of paper, as well as a small dropper bottle that she told him was hers before putting in her purse and leaving the apartment. Diana shared this new information with the police. So detectives decided to switch their focus from the financial scam to the dropper bottle. And while Mema had already been buried, because her death had been so sudden and she'd only been 51, there had been an autopsy. And the medical examiner had preserved the stomach and viscera in formaldehyde in case it was needed for any further examination. And while Mema's remains were sent for further analysis, Detective Horacio Romeo admitted that he began the homicide investigation with little expectations. But when the autopsy report came back and concluded that Carmen Zulema de Giorgio de Venturini, quote, had a quantity of cyanide capable of wiping out a battalion, end quote.
Okay. I was not expecting that.
It became clear that they were dealing with an actual homicide. An arrest warrant was issued, and on April 27th, 1979, 5 weeks after Mema's death, police arrested Yiya Murano at her home on Mexico Street. While Yiya was detained, Detective Horacio Romeo went to Yiya's apartment building to investigate, and he started by questioning her neighbors. One of them was Dr. Roberto Germán Denner, who knew Yiya very well, as his wife was part of the friend group that Yiya had approached about the investment opportunity that granted high interest rates. Denner knew that other women in the friend group had invested large sums of money with Yiya, but he didn't like it. It sounded too good to be true, so he forbade his wife from giving their money to the con woman.
Smart.
Then, at some point in the conversation, while talking about Yiya, the doctor tells the detective, quote, "Poor woman, though. She's had such bad luck because those ladies just kept dying," end quote. And the detective was like, "Excuse me, what now?"
Hi, what? What ladies?
To which the good doctor replied, quote, "First it was Nilda, then it was Chicha, and now Mema," end quote.
You weren't suspicious after the first one?
Detective
after
Romeo.
the second one? Come on, bro.
Girl.
You're a doctor.
Girl. Detective Romeo said that as soon as he heard that quote, "I got goosebumps everywhere," end quote. Investigators soon discovered that both women had died under unclear circumstances. On February 10th, Yiya made one of her typical visits to her friend, investor, and next-door neighbor, Nilda. Nilda was feeling unwell, complaining of nausea and a stomach ache. She called a doctor who suspected that it was a case of food poisoning from some fish that she had eaten and promised that she should start to feel better soon. Yiya generously offered to spend the night and take care of her sick friend.
No.
Later that evening, Nilda began vomiting. She was in a coma by morning. Yiya called the doctor again, and by the time he arrived, Nilda Adelena Gamba was dead. Her cause of death was listed as cardiac arrest. No police investigation was launched due to Nilda's history of diabetes, and as Wikipedia puts it, her quote-unquote elderly age, Nilda was 64.
That's not old.
Wikipedia needs to calm the down.
Relax.
And it's not just Wikipedia, it's literally everything. It's like, well, she was like old. She was 64. Like,
Okay. If she had been the first woman who died?
she is the first.
Okay.
So, because I'm like backtracking now.
Okay.
Yes.
Still.
64 is not old.
Still. Guys, just do your jobs. Like, just a cursory anything would be great. Yeah. Okay.
A week or so after Nidla's death, Chicha contacted Yiya about her money. The fake socialite came by Chicha's apartment with tea, pastries, and reassurances that she would get her money back very soon. At the end of her visit, Yiya invited Chicha to join her and some friends for a night out at the theater. Later, when Yiya and company returned to pick Chicha up at her apartment, no one answered the door. Oh my God, that's so weird. And there's all of these witnesses here to see it because I clearly didn't do anything.
Off.
So the women went for their night out on the town without Chicha. 3 days later, on February 22nd, one of Chicha's neighbors voiced concerns over a terrible smell coming from Chicha's apartment.
No.
And it's February, I believe, is Argentina? Argentina's below the equator? Yeah, so this is summer.
That always really gets me when it's like they're found because of the smell. That like really,
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Police were called. They were able to access Chicha's apartment through a connected adjoining apartment. Authorities found Leila Chicha Formisano de Alaya's lifeless body sitting in her armchair in front of the television that was still on. On the table beside her was a cup of tea and some half-eaten pastries. The 59-year-old woman's death had been ruled cardiac arrest.
Okay, this is number 2, though.
Mm-hmm.
Your red flag meter should be going off now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
you should be suspicious.
Mm-hmm. I would be, but you know.
I mean, she was
not a cop.
Ancient at 59.
She was
so.
59.
I can't with us.
Girl. Detective Romeo quickly discovered that Nilda, Chicha, and Mema were all friends with Yiya Murano. They had all given her significant amounts of money for Murano to invest, which she had not paid back, despite repeated emphatic requests to do so. All 3 women died within 6 weeks of each other.
Guys.
What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing?
The last person to see all 3 women alive was Yiya Murano, and she was seen bringing them tea and pastries.
Guys, it literally couldn't be more obvious. What? Does no one
like actually though?
And she owed them all money. Like, guys.
But she's so like elegante though.
I was gonna say, if she becomes known as like the elegant poisoner, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to flip this desk.
No, but
okay, thank God.
But it's not great because all of these deaths had been listed as natural causes. There had been no quote unquote crime scene. So homes had been cleaned and anything that may have been of evidentiary value had already been thrown out. So the only way to definitively connect these deaths would be to conduct a forensic analysis on the deceased. So a judge ordered that Nidda and Chicha's bodies be exhumed.
I know. Yeah, I was like, oh no, here it comes.
Like, I
hate that too.
It's all bad.
It's all bad, yeah. Don't poison your friends. I didn't think I had to say it.
Was just going to say those things that you think shouldn't have to be said, and then yet here we are.
Yeah.
A second autopsy was done, and upon further forensic testing, both bodies showed signs of cyanide poisoning. This is the first time anything like this had happened in Argentina. And if this was true, Yiya Murano would be the first known female serial killer in Argentina's history. And the press had a field day with it.
Yeah, obviously. Also because she's hot. So they're like, oh my God, a hot lady killed a bunch of people. Like,
but because here's the thing. She's not hot. She's elegant because those are different things.
Even better. They're like, oh my God, an elegant woman killed a bunch of people.
Oh my God. In a televised interview with a police commander, like a reporter asked him, like, can you share your opinion on the Murano case? And then the commander says, quote, I'd say it's your typical female homicide because due to her physical capacities, a woman cannot commit a violent homicide if she's actually inclined to even commit murder. And so she results to poisoning, end quote.
Wow.
It gave me such like how
Leslie
I said that.
Knope from Parks and Rec.
You know, be crazy. But it's very like how when I covered all of those like in the Chicago murders, that it was like the best time to be a woman murderer was in the 20s because they'd be like, oh, have you seen her arms? Like, clearly not.
My wrists are very weak.
She has
I couldn't even
ovaries.
murder anybody.
Like women can't do anything violent.
Yes.
They don't have homicidal tendencies.
Oh my God. Like, yes, she does. She murdered 6 of her friends, bro.
Yeah, so the press had a field day with this, dubbing Murano the poisoner of Montserrat.
Okay.
Since Yiya was incarcerated during all of this, the press didn't have access to interview her for themselves. So they just make things up because why let the truth get in the way of a good story? And it basically turned into a nationwide game of yes and. One newspaper would print a headline that read that there might be 8 victims, and then another one would run with that and saying that 10 hearses had been hired.
Oh my God.
And the story escalated to accusations of witchcraft, claiming that Yiya had practiced black magic and
Of course.
they didn't say the 200 lovers, but they're like, she's 2 lovers and she was gonna get this huge inheritance. And it's like, none of this is true. It was all but people were like gobbling it up, being like, more.
Yeah.
We need more of this salacious, crazy. After being behind bars for 3 years, Yiya's trial finally began on July 20th, 1982. Yiya maintained her innocence and denied any wrongdoing. While all 3 women had cyanide found in their system, the defense argued that there was no proof that Yiya was the one who had poisoned them, as no cyanide had been found in her home during a police search. And there were no witnesses to corroborate that Yiya had poisoned the 3 witnesses. It was an entirely circumstantial case. The defense argued that Leda and Chicha were both smokers, and that certain studies have suggested that certain substances in cigarettes decompose in the body, producing cyanide, as well as the fact that during the natural decomposition process, the body itself may release chemical substances that may be interpreted as the decomposition of cyanide.
Not enough that would kill a battalion, though. I'm sure it's trace amounts. Get the out of here. If
Yeah,
this one gets
essentially.
off, girl, where's the
So-
bottle?
They never found it.
This
Got rid of it. They never found it.
this Alec. How dare she? How dare she? I'm not getting over this.
So, as for the fraud charges, the defense argued that no one can prove that the women hadn't loaned or just given the money outright to their friend voluntarily. There's no
I'm
IOU slips.
Gonna flip this desk. Okay. Okay.
And it seems that the defense had presented enough reasonable doubt that the sentencing judge decided that there was not enough evidence to convict the alleged poisoner of Montserrat and acquitted her on all charges.
Off.
When Yiya got out, her son Martin was 16. He recalled that when she came home, the first thing he said to his mother was, "What happened? Did you escape?" or something like that.
I love this kid.
He's complicated for sure. To which she responded, quote, "No, the truth finally came out. I didn't kill them," end quote. But Martin was not here for her and made it a point to let her know, telling her, quote, "What terrible luck you had. I mean, 3 women you owe money to all died in the same month," end quote. Unsurprisingly, Yiya was not here for being called out so epically and responded to her son the way that a top-tier narcissistic mother would by saying, quote, "You never loved me. You were always a bad son. Of course you'd say something like that," end quote.
Oh my God. That's so infuriating. But yeah,
Mhm.
of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's like textbook response.
Yeah, exactly. Upon her release, Yiya went back to business as usual. She rekindled her relationships with her lovers while her husband turned a blind eye. All the while, prosecutors quickly appealed the case and it was sent to a higher jurisdiction. And in 1985, the National Criminal and Correctional Appeals Chamber of the federal capital found her guilty of fraud and murder and sentenced her to life in prison.
Okay.
But
No.
one final question remained. How exactly did Yiya Murano poison her 3 friends? Because even though the press and the public decided that Yiya had poisoned the baked goods she brought to her friends, we didn't know for sure that that's how she did it. In fact, law enforcement believes that the deadly dose was administered in its liquid form. In Martin Murano's 1994 tell-all autobiography, My Mother, Yiya Murano, he claims that Yiya confessed that she had poisoned her friends by hiding the cyanide in her tea bags.
Oh.
Authorities, however, believe that it could have been even more insidious than that. It has been theorized that the pastries were a means that she'd use so that her victims would overindulge. So And they keep being like, well, they're old. So like if you eat a bunch of sweets, it's going to like upset your stomach. So that they would need to take something to feel better. And that's when Yiya would offer them a small bottle of an herbal tincture that she had that was really great for digestion, which they would ingest alone at night. And this would explain why Yiya was adamant to get into Mema's apartment to not only retrieve the IOU slips, but also the small dropper bottle that she claimed belonged to her. Because it wouldn't make sense for her to leave that there if she was like
I was wondering why it was there in the first place.
Yeah. So that seems to be what they think is. I'm like, oh, here's some medicine. Like this, I use this all the time. It's great. Like it's great for your, indigestion.
That is diabolical.
Yeah, it's evil, 100%.
I totally thought it was the tea. I totally thought she like brewed the tea there. It was just like a couple drops in.
Yep.
There you go. That's for you.
Exactly. Although she was sentenced to life in prison, the then Argentinian president commuted Yiya's sentence to 25 years.
Because she's elegant?
I
Get
think
over
so.
it.
I think so. And I like don't. There's a whole thing in.
I'm so mad.
There's a whole thing in. So there's a documentary about this called, I think it's like Death at Tea Time. I mentioned it in a little bit. The detective, Romeo, like someone is like, hey, like every like 15, 20 minutes, like get up and get a coffee while you're interrogating her. Like, and he didn't listen to that. He was just like transfixed because she was so elegant. And it was like after the fact that he realized like she controlled the entire conversation. She told me, she created a narrative and I let her do it. Like I didn't trip her up. I didn't like, keep breaking up the thing so that I could, because it's like, she's so elegant. And again, like, she's like, okay, like, why is anyone giving a about that? I don't understand. Spanish people are wild. And again, as like a Spanish person, I understand. Like, so her life sentence got commuted to 25 years. And because there had been a change in the law that allowed a prisoner to only serve 2/3 of their time, Yiya Murano was released from prison in 1995 after serving only 16 years for the murder of her 3 friends. Yiya allegedly sent the judges who granted her release a box of chocolates as a token of her appreciation.
That is bold. They're like right in the trash. That's going right in the trash.
Amy,
what?
You don't even know.
Oh my God, no.
For right now.
Stop.
Following her release, Yiya capitalized on her notoriety, selling interviews to the press. And instead of the people of Argentina being repulsed and outraged, they ate that up. And Yiya became a pop culture celebrity.
What? No, Argentina. Come on. You're better than that.
Making multiple appearances on wildly popular TV show The Lunch Table, the first of which Yiya showed up with a box of pastries that she had made for the legendary TV host to eat on the air.
Stop it.
Yeah.
No,
and they're like,
her son is right. So, she is psychotic.
Yeah, she's psycho. And not only that, like, everyone is disgusting. Like, Mirta's like, okay, I'm going to eat this. And, like, if I'm not here, then, like, if I die, then, like, who did? And it's like, this woman murdered 3 people. And she had her on the TV show. And it was, like, the most popular TV show in Argentina and Latin America. Like, everyone, it's like going on Oprah and pulling this. And apparently, it was so out of pocket. And her behavior was so gross. At some point, Mirta had to be like, I know that we were having, like, a fun time about this. But at the commercial break, I was thinking to myself about like the families of the people who she murdered. And like, I don't want them to feel bad. Like, we're just having a good time. We're just having a laugh.
We're just having a laugh with a serial killer who
murdered your family.
Yeah.
And is out.
Ha 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 ha.
Being cute.
LOL. Bringing pastries.
So after she went on the lunch table with Mirta Legrand and pulled this of like bringing the pastries, Yiya became like, she entered the cultural zeitgeist.
I'm not over this.
Signed autographs, took pictures, like people take pictures of her. They made a doll out of her. They made t-shirts of her with quotes and with pastries that read Yiya Murano, the poisoner of Montserrat. Mugs were sold with an image of her face that read, Happy Friendship Day, I'll miss you. To this day, this is so up and repulsive and like, I can't actually handle this.
I'm like actually speechless. What?
Mm-hmm. To this day, on Friendship Day in Argentina, memes still circulate that say, quote, a spot of tea for Friendship Day, end quote, under Yiya's face or a picture of pastries with the caption, quote, these are Yiya's or Yiya sent it to you, end quote.
What the I have a dark sense of humor. That's too far.
This is
That's
like
not
this
funny.
this is gross. And here's the thing. So again, I'm Spanish. I grew up watching some Spanish TV. Mostly I'd watch it on the weekends when my grandparents, who didn't really speak English, would come over and like we'd watch Sábado Gigante, Don Francisco, and like all the like Spanish news. And Amy and I have talked about before how when we'll like watch things from the 90s, we'll be like, that's like really
That didn't age
problematic
well.
and a bad look.
Yeah.
No, like Spanish TV was so that at that time I remember being like, this is not great. Like Spanish TV, like on the news, they would show executions, piles of dead bodies, like it was nothing, no warning, no blurring,
What?
nothing. Spanish TV is so when I like heard all this, I'm like, I'm kind of not surprised,
Yeah.
but it's still gross in every possible way.
But I'm disappointed.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
more than that. I'm enraged.
That's a level I couldn't even imagine.
In the documentary, Yiya Murano, Death at Tea Time, one of the reporters interviewed said, quote, Yiya wanted to be famous. When she saw the cameras on her, she said, I'm not leaving. And television allowed it. And society allowed it too. Well, she put on that costume of already being a crime legend and went for it. She faced her destiny. It didn't matter that on that show, they introduced her that way. For lunch, joining Victor Legrand, Yiya Murano, the poisoner. She didn't care about that. I think it had to do with her own perversion. She actually enjoyed being the poisoner of Montserrat. It's like a role or like a job, you know? It's very odd. I haven't seen that in any other case, end quote. Reporter and author Osvaldo Bazan said, quote, some people think, look what she did. Can you believe it? What a bitch. That's it. No one thinks about the victims, end quote. Which is a richest thing to say, coming from the guy who wrote a campy musical about her titled Yiya the Musical. Because yes, in addition to being a guest on many TV shows and starring in her own television segment in which people would write in asking Yiya for advice a la Dear Abby, yes.
What is actually happening?
Girl,
Am I in the fucking Twilight
know.
Zone? That'd be like if there was like an Ask Bundy thing and you fucking wrote into Ted Bundy. Like, what is happening?
Like the Dahmer being like, how should I season my pork chops? Like,
I think my boyfriend's cheating on me. What?
Girl.
What is happening, Monique? What is literally happening? I don't think I've ever heard this before.
No.
Like, this level of like adoration for like a murder. What?
There's definitely the people, especially when people find out that this is what I do, that I have the show. Like, there's that question of like, who's your favorite serial killer? And I'm like, do you want to rephrase that question? Because it's none of them. You could say, who am I most intrigued by or fascinated by? I don't have a favorite. They're all disgusting. And it's gross when I hear other content creators say like, oh my God, this, Jeffrey Dahmer's my favorite. No, absolutely not. Look at your choices. But to have it be such a cultural thing, like she's like Jimothy. You know what I mean? Like,
love you for that. I love you for that.
I love
my
you.
God.
Also, apparently, Jimothy has made it onto the Roku like screensaver.
Amazing. She's not Jimothy.
She's
also,
not.
Like, why? Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
Everyone's on board with this. Like, no one besides the victims' families are like, this is in poor taste. Like,
not even that much. Like, they interview some of the relatives of and they're like, yeah, I mean, I think it's funny. Like, when I get those news and when I laugh. I don't grow. I don't grow.
That's insane.
And becoming the subject of several Spanish crime TV shows, as well as 2 books written by her son Martin wrote about her. This got a musical made about her. And like in a weird, like kind of creepy twist, it premiered at the same theater that she had invited Chicha out to with the girlfriends.
Of course
she couldn't make it because she poisoned her.
Wow.
Girl.
You guys, look at your life and look at your choices.
I mean, like collectively, like disappointed in everyone. No one gets ice cream.
Yeah.
Like absolutely, like what is this? This is insane. Following her husband Antonio's death, during her incarceration, the poisoner of Montserrat somehow managed to remarry several times because she's elegante. One of her last husbands was an elderly blind man who had been a newspaper proofreader named Julio Banin. Banin's daughter said that she believed that Yiya had slowly poisoned her father to death to get his pension and his life savings. She also accused the convicted murderess of attempting to poison her several times though nothing ever came from these allegations. Yiya Murano spent her last years in nursing homes, with her health and memory deteriorating to the point that she no longer remembered who she was. She died alone on April 26, 2014, 1 month shy of her 84th birthday. Contrary to her final wishes, her family didn't put her famous nickname on her gravestone, but buried her under a reduced version of her real name. Good. Although they do have a picture of her on the
tombstone?
That's a thing. Some people do
Oh,
it.
okay.
I've even seen now there's QR codes too that
For
you can
what?
videos or whatever.
I don't like that.
I don't either. I don't like the pictures.
No.
I
Definitely not a QR code. That's tacky.
I think so. If you have a QR code, go for it.
Do
Love
you?
that for
I know. I'm
Do you.
judging really hard right now.
I'm
I'm sorry.
It's not for me. I also hate technology, so a QR code would never be for me. But if it's for you, I love that for you. And you're not a poisoner, I love it. I live your truth. Yiya maintained her innocence throughout her life, saying, quote, "I never invited anybody to eat," end quote. And while Yiya Murano and her tea and pastries have become a dark joke in Argentina, it is important to remember that her actions led to the deaths of 3 women who trusted her and considered Yiya their friend. Emma's granddaughter, Mariana, told the documentary, quote, "Sorry, I get a bit emotional, but my grandma was lots of things. And to see her reduced to nothing more than Yiya's last victim is just too much. This is my grandma." And she shows a picture and she says that this is my grandma with my mom as a baby because my grandma was a beautiful person. This is my grandma with my mom, strong, very loved, who did so much good. To be reduced to that is terrible. And then on top of everything, you add the fact that the murderer became a public figure that really makes me feel justice was not done. If the memory of these people is revived, then yes, I think justice is done because they matter more than Yiya, end quote. And that is the story of Yiya Murano, the poisoner of Montserrat, who is widely believed to be the first female serial killer in Argentina. And the other source that I used was the book, The League of Lady Poisoners, Illustrated True Stories of Dangerous Women by Lisa Perrin, which is absolutely wonderful. And I picked it up at Twisted Spine, the horror bookshop in New York City. So yes, you're with me when I got it.
Yeah.
It's a great book. But yeah.
What the
What the
I'm speechless. I cannot believe the aftermath. That's
it's so gross.
Crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there was an episode of the with Mirta Legrand, because she was on it all of the time. She was on this show all the time. And it was oh, we're going to have her son come on, Martin come on, and it's going to be a reconciliation between the two of them. And Martin was a stuntman, and basically there had been this whole thing where there was a strike or something, and everyone was out of work, and he was living kind of in his car. He was experiencing homelessness. So they're we're going to pay you a ton of money, and he was it, I guess I'll go.
No.
And it's the most exploitative, gross thing you've ever seen in your life. He walks in and you could tell on his face he's not to be there. And Mirta's aren't you going to give your mother a kiss? And he's and give her mom a kiss who he hates and who's a narcissist and treat him like shit his entire life and who's a poisoner and a killer. And and then also being we were trying to reach you and find you. Where were you?
Avoiding my mother who killed a bunch of people. What?
But not only that, it was he didn't have a home. He was down and out. And you're it was so gross. It's so gross.
I hate that. That was so interesting though. I had never heard of that before.
Me neither.
I cannot believe how Argentina just got behind her. Was oh my God, new celebrity just dropped.
Oh my God. And then just sending happy friendship day. Here's some pastries from Yiya.
And t-shirts and mugs and gross. You guys, no.
This is
we
can expected better from you.
We can be better than this.
Yes. Shouldn't have to be said, but
here we are.
And I get it. They're Argentinians, that they have a dark sense of humor where they take tragedy and they I'm same girl. That's how you deal with trauma.
Same.
That's how I'm hilarious. But there's a limit.
Yeah.
And it's no, you're a disgusting person.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
That was fascinating. That was horrifying.
Yeah.
Did
she 16 years.
That's crazy. That's not enough.
That wasn't even in one. It was split up.
Hard eye roll.
Mm-hmm.
Did she get the cyanide from rat poison? Rat traps? Do they know or no?
They have no idea. They never found it. They never found her with it. She never copped to it. They didn't find it in her apartment. Like,
That's crazy.
mhm.
Wow.
And like, how are all these dudes marrying her?
Yeah.
Like, she's convicted of this. I don't give a like what pantsuit she's wearing. You know what I mean? Like what
Yeah. But like, people don't give a like you see, there's women who write serial killers in prison and like
yeah, want their babies and it's wild.
Yeah. It's like what? I don't know. That's wild.
Girl. Yeah.
Let's check.
Yeah, her.
That was really interesting though. Thank you so much
Thank
for that
you.
story.
Absolutely.
Again,
Thank you
I
for
never
your
heard of it.
story. My God.
Yes.
I'm going to avoid every mirror.
I know. I'm sorry. My bad.
I mean,
you
I need
guys.
to. So like, I do not wake up like this
Girl,
as much as
same.
I'd love to. I hated and loved your story simultaneously.
I feel that. That's how I felt about your story.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
lot of our stories, to be fair.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love you.
Jinx, so much.
We're jinxing very hard today.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it. I love it.
Girl, it's because we have that connection. We have that good psychic sister
It's
connection.
the polka dots.
Yeah.
There
That
it
I'm
is.
actually, because I don't really own a lot of things that are polka dots. So
Me neither.
yeah.
I think I own like 2 or 3 things. And I wore this for like a specific thing earlier. And so I was like, I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to wear this. But we are, girl.
I love it. I love it. We are twinsies.
I love it. I love you.
Love you.
And we love you. This is another podcast. I'm Monique Sanchez.
And I may be Trayton.
If you're enjoying this show, please leave us a rating and review and subscribe, like and subscribe. And if you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and you screenshot it and you send it to us after your post, you get one of these free lovely totes to fit all the things in your life. You can follow us on the gram at Another Horror Podcast. If you are listening to us and you want to see my reactions to everything that Amy said in her story, or Amy's gorgeous bones in her face,
And my reactions to Monique's crazy story and the
Yes.
audacity of this.
I mean, see,
Yes.
you can catch the censored version on our YouTube channel, which is Another Horror Podcast without the U. If you have $6.66 that you're willing to part with, you can get the uncensored video episode on our Patreon, which you can find at anotherhorrorpodcast.com. There, you could also get tickets to live events, some merch. Our merch store is there if you want more than just our tote, and just, see pictures of Amy's cat Boo, who's adorable, our familiar.
I'm shocked he has not made a single appearance in any of the video episodes we recorded.
I'm really shocked as well.
Because
let me tell
whenever
you,
we record without video, he is all over me.
he knows he's camera shy.
Okay, I get it.
Cool. But I think that's it. I love you. We love you. Thanks
the
for
love.
listening. Don't be a piece of like Yiya. Beware
Don't
of
poison your
mirrors, And as always, keep it cute.
Keep it creepy.
Bye.